Hi guys, it's Sam from Our Life in Horror, and this is A Woman in Horror with the horror miser Monty G.
Y'all ready for this? Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G. Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G. Yes, welcome once again to another episode of Women in Horror, where I interview women who have done everything in the name of the genre of horror films, whether they're in front of the camera, behind the camera, whether they're actually horror authors, wrote horror scripts, wrote horror books, have YouTube channels based in horror, or actually have a podcast in horror. And this time I actually have a good friend of mine. Her name is Sam. She has a YouTube channel with her husband, Art, Life, and Horror. So say hello, Sam.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me on.
Yes. I've been on their channel. Was it last month? I think it was sometime before I left.
Yes.
So her and her husband, they had a great channel. How long have you had your channel up?
Our channel, it'll be 2 years in February for YouTube specifically, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about more about that later. Let's go on ahead and let's get on with the review. Also, just want to let you know that my Women in Horror series is now available not on my YouTube channel, but it's actually on podcasts on Spotify or anywhere where you get your podcasts. So that's where you want to catch any of my episodes of Women in Horror. So that's going to be available on Spotify. I just started that with the last Women in Horror. I'm going to see if I get all the other episodes up. I'm running on Spotify as well. But my first question to you, Sam, and I always like to do this, get this started. Now, we all know what people think about horror, and why in the world would women like horror? Horror is not for women. No, women are nice and cuddly and pink. It's like, so what got you into horror?
Oh boy. I think as a kid, I always liked spooky stuff. So like Halloween, I would build little haunted houses in my basement and make my sister go through them. They were terrible, but I would make her go through them. And then yeah, when I got into high school, like I didn't watch horror when I was really young because I was so scared. But I liked spooky stuff. But then in high school, I started watching them with my friends in the basement, and we'd all like get together, and it would be like a movie night, and we would do that every weekend, watch a new horror movie. And then, yeah, after high school, I just started watching them on my own, I guess, because my friends kind of all went to different schools, and I ended up looking up more of the extreme stuff because I felt really hardcore. And I watched that. And then
you didn't happen to see a film called Blood Sucking Freaks, did you?
No, I actually haven't seen that one.
Okay. Because you want to get some hardcore horror. Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay. I have to Google that after. But then I met Brendan, and that was in 2019, and he was a big movie buff, like all the behind the scenes stuff and whatever. I couldn't even name a horror director back then. But I loved the movies. Like I loved watching them. And then when I met Brendan and we got going with our Instagram page and our podcast and then our YouTube, I really dove into the horror community and fell in love with more than just the thrill of watching the movie. Like I started to root for Final Girls and all that fun stuff. So it's been a long journey getting here. Long story short.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. What amazes me is especially how he was a movie buff. I was kind of the same way because all my friends, all my boys, they always say, buddy, why you like all that horror shit? You like all that horror shit. It's so weird and nasty. It's like, and I can name directors, stars, and everything else about all the horror films that I watched throughout the years. And it's like, they all looked at me like I was weird.
Yeah. No, Brendan was the same. He wanted to know he watched all the documentaries and everything. And I could name the movies, and that was about it. I didn't know the actresses' names and all that. So he took me through a learning experience.
But what was the actual first horror movie did you see?
Okay, so I watched a lot of stuff when I was younger, like Jurassic Park and Deep
Hmm.
Blue Sea. The first really scary horror movie I watched was The Grudge. I remember
Ooh,
specifically watching that with my girlfriend.
well, the American one or the Japanese one?
The American one, yeah. And then
Okay.
the next weekend I watched Dead End, which I think that movie is so comical right now. But back then it scared me and I stopped watching horror for like a year after those two movies.
Oh yeah, I can see the Dead End and the Grudge, especially the American version. What was pretty horrible. I mean, I'm pretty sure if people would not like seeing this guy going, "Eh," or Kasako.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would drive anyone crazy.
I haven't seen Ju-on, I guess is the
Yeah,
original.
Juon. Yes, yes,
Yeah, I did not get around to watching that one yet, but
yeah. That's I don't know if you actually saw the Japanese version first or the American version first. They're kind of both the same. They really don't change anything. The American version doesn't change anything from the Japanese version. I think with the Japanese version, it's more. It's not like a set story. It's just like scenes, from places, and people encounter Kosika, whatever her name. I forget what her name is, and then we find out what happened to him and what it is. But the American version is more of a story with Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's more of
mhm.
a story. So, I don't think it actually matters which one you see first, because they're kind of basically the same.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're really not missing what you when you do watch it. I think the Japanese version is kind of spookier than the American version, but not as much. Like I said, they're basically the same. I see you got a friend there.
Yeah, this is Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. I guess he wants to be part of the show.
Yeah, he's always a part of the show.
Now, my next question is: did you ever hear about the organization called Women in Horror?
No.
Hmm.
No, what's that?
Yeah, it started as a grassroots organization. I found out about it. I think they might have started in either 2021 or 2022. I can't remember. It was a grassroots organization. At the time, they decided that we need to start celebrating women's contribution for the horror genre. It was started in February, but excuse me, now I'm coughing. Excuse me. It started in February, but then they didn't want to compete with Black History Month, so they moved it to March. So every March for the several years, they would have this celebration for the contributions women have done for the horror genre. When I found out about that, as much as I respect women's roles just in films, but especially in horror, I said, you know what, that's something interesting. I think I'll create a series about it. So this is what I've been doing. But since the movement and the organization got so popular, they decided we're just going to have a year-long celebration of it instead of just having 1 month. So that's why I decided I'm going to do the same thing, do it all year round. So now instead of just doing it within March, I just do at least either 2 or 3 interviews every month for women in horror. Because without women, there would be no horror films.
Yeah, no, I love
Mm.
that.
Mm. What are your thoughts regarding how women have been treated in horror films? Because it's always been, let's say, all the way up. There were no more than damsels in distress, and to all of a sudden now we have badass final girls. So how do you feel? How are your feelings about how women have been treated in horror?
I definitely like that we get more like can I swear badass?
Yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
Okay. I like that we get more badass final girls because it's showing their strength and it's appealing to women more too to enjoy the genre. Like it's going to make more women be see these movies with a nicer light, I guess. Like it's not all like I don't know, blood and guts and whatever, which it is a lot of the time. But
Hmm.
when we have like a solid, strong final girl, I think it's going to appeal to maybe more audiences. And the more women that are watching, the more movies we're going to get, and the longer horror is going to live on, I guess. Right. So,
Hmm. Yeah, because when you take a look at King Kong, from the old version, the old school version King Kong, to Peter Jackson King Kong. You take a look at Fay Ray and you take a look at Naomi Watts' characters. They're basically the same, but in the 1930, I think it's 1930 or 1943 King Kong, Fay Ray is just a typical damsel in distress. She screams, she shouts, she yells, and that's all she does. Either she's going to be saved by the guy, she's going to be saved by Kong. But in the Peter Jackson version, Naomi Watts' character is a bit different. Yeah, she's the same thing, but she stands up to Kong. She actually gets in Kong's nerve. She yells at Kong, and Kong does nothing. He throws a little fit, but he doesn't do anything. It's not until he has to save her from the Tyrannosaurus Rex, but she's still a very strong woman, even though it takes place during the Depression era. But the whole different types of characters and women that we see in horror films, back from old school horror up until now, what we see right now is the difference how women's roles in horror films have changed. I
Yeah.
mean, even some of the women that have been in some of the old school horror films, they had real good roles, but basically, they were either damsel in distress. The only way they could get saved is by a man, whether it's the Universal horror films, uh, the Hammer horror films, or even films from the 50s and 60s. I think sort of them start to change during the 70s. You saw some type of women started to fight back a little bit until we actually was we're talking about the final girls. But that's how different women's roles have changed when it comes to horror films. I think women have, especially now, they become more respectful for women. We don't have the accidental trip and fall final girl. We actually have final girls that actually fight back and think smart, not make dumb decisions.
Yeah. Amen. The trip and fall. I'm not tripping and falling. I might, but
Okay. So speaking of final girls, how do you feel about the evolution of the final girl trope in horror movies? Because as I stated before, you know, back when the final girl was, I would say, even with Laurie Strode or Olivia Hussey in Black Christmas, you know, then we had the typical final girls where they would, accidentally fight and win the bad guy. But I think now there's been a change about final girls in modern horror films. And now you have the Sidney Prescotts, you have the Samantha Wearing, or the I forgot her name in You're Next. So what do you think
Samara
about?
Weaving. Yeah.
Yes,
Grace
yeah, yeah, Grace. What do you feel about how the evolution of the final girl trope has changed?
has changed. Oh
Yes.
boy. I don't know, because I've always seen the final girls as like badass chicks.
Mm,
Personally, I don't. That's that one I would have to really think about. But like
yeah,
you mentioned, Black Christmas. Like I absolutely love. It's is her name Jessica in that one?
I think her name is Jessica. Yes, I think her name is
Yeah,
Jessica. Hmm.
I love that movie because it even goes into topics that are not big at that time, that are up like that are talked about more today. Sorry, I'm not feeling the greatest, so I can't get my words out. um but yeah, with the her wanting to pursue her dreams over like having a child, she's not ready for that, like those types of topics that we're having today. And I've just always seen her as a badass. And then Sydney too, from Scream. Like she's smart. I just watched a movie actually called Christie, I believe, which a lot of people are talking about all of a sudden, but it's from 2014.
Hmm.
Super smart final girl in that movie too. Like she makes some really smart decisions throughout. Yes, Bruce, I'm busy. So I'm not sure about the evolution. Like I've always sort of seen them. I'm also new to the older movies because I didn't start watching the older movies till I met Brendan too. So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
still discovering all those final girls personally.
Okay. Yeah. Her name was Jess Branford, Olivia Hussey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very different. Probably because at the time when that film came out, the women's movement was really going strong, and that film represents that aspect. Because, as a matter of fact, all the women in that film are very strong. Because Margot Kidder's role in the film as
Mhm.
Barbara, she's very determined. She's more outspoken. She doesn't hold
Outspoken,
back.
yeah.
He's very spoke back.
Yeah.
So it's like it's I guess because with me when I because I've seen almost every horror film that came out there, especially because I think the funnel girl trope didn't come relevant until probably around I would say during the mid 1980s, especially
Okay.
with the original Friday the 13th, and then the trope came out called the funnel girl. And when you look at some of the funnel girls in those films, they're not as brave or as smart or as cunning as like say Sidney Prescott or even Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2 or Nancy Thompson, or even Lisa from the other Friday the 13th Part 4 and 5. They always would run, they would scream, they had to be saved by their boyfriend, but then all of a sudden he get kicked. Either he would get die or he would go, and he would actually win against any of the bad guys. So I think that's where the evolution of Final Girl come is that now we have more badass Final Girls that they're smart, they don't make dumb decisions. I mean, take a look at Scream 6. Because with Sam and with Maria and Jenna Ortiz, they fight back. They don't make dumb decisions. They don't hide. No, nice. So I think that's where the evolution of the Final Girls trope has changed. I say since Laurie Strode all the way up to where we have now with Sidney Prescott.
I always think of the scene in Scream where Sidney Prescott is on the phone saying something about like the dumb girl in the movie would run up the stairs rather than
Give
go
me
outside. So the scene with Sydney in Scream where she's on the phone with Ghostface and she makes a comment about how the girl in the movie would typically run up the stairs rather than go out the door, and then
mhm.
she goes to try and open the door and can't get it open. She ends up having to run up the stairs. So comical.
Oh yeah, because I remember that when she says that to the ghost face, and next thing you know, when she tries, she can't get out the door. She has to run up
Yeah,
the steps. But at least she actually did try to go
she
out the front
tried.
door. Yeah,
Yeah.
she tried to go out the front door. So I actually thought it was great. It's brilliant writing by Kevin Williamson right there. The fact that she actually does what she says instead of running up the steps, because I don't know
Mhm.
why people make dumb decisions. But then again, I guess we're supposed to suspend our belief when we're watching horror films, but some of the stuff that they do, just you know, we wouldn't do that. Come on, stop making dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Now, this is something interesting. How do you feel women were? Do you feel that women were disrespected or objectified during the early slasher films during the '80s with all that gratuitous nudity? It's like we couldn't see a slasher film about a woman exposing her breasts, exposing her backside, or even having full frontal nudity. It's like that was the only purpose of having cute women in horror films, just to have them naked.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that to be in every single movie. I have a hard time when I hear about like an actress on set that maybe wasn't comfortable doing those scenes too.
Mhm.
If you hear like something behind the scenes, if someone was uncomfortable. What was the movie? I think it was I think it was the original uh Last House on the Left, maybe, with
Mhm.
the essay scene. I know the person that did the scene was really uncomfortable on set, and that makes me really upset to hear, because there should definitely be like they have intimacy coordinators now on set and all that
Mhm.
stuff, right? And I definitely, if a woman is going to be doing a scene like that, I would hope that they're feeling confident about it and respected. I definitely want to see the women in movies today like strong characters, because they don't all need to be, I don't know, portrayed that way, I guess.
Yeah, it to me it sounds like because to me it's like because I did an interview with Deborah Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 5, and I asked her about the scene, and she was very comfortable about it. She said, the everyone on set was very comfortable for her. It was very nice. She had no problem doing the nude scene right there. But I understand it's like a woman shouldn't be forced to do a scene that she shouldn't want to do. No, we already have enough
Yeah.
problems with that. But for some reason, it's like all we saw during the mid 80s was, we got to flash, we got to show some breasts, we got to show some ass, we got to all this full frontal nudity, and some of it was not no served no purpose in the movie other than just to see a naked girl.
Yeah, and I'm gonna completely be honest. I like a little sexiness in my movies every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why I'm a big champion of Linnea Quigley, because she always talks about how confident it made her feel, and she was super comfortable as well. So
Oh yeah.
I love watching her movies, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I do question about like how it actually was on set for other girls. So it's
Oh yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah. She's always come out and said she was never forced. She was
Hmm.
very comfortable. She had no problems. They made her feel comfortable. She, that's kind of become her signature now.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was some Halloween picture. It might have been Trick or Treat if I remember correctly, where she bends down and the boys are seeing her underwear. But that's
Night of the Demons. I have her
mm,
character tattooed on my arm, actually, Suzanne. I love her in that movie.
oh yeah, yeah, typical Leanne Quigley right there. Yeah, but if they're very comfortable and they don't mind doing it, then and that's okay. But it has to be part of the story too. But like I said before, that was a
Yeah.
huge problem during the 70s. It kind of reminds me of Jennifer's Body. When we have Megan Fox and Amanda Siegfried, they have that makeout scene, and unfortunately, the people who marketed that film only marketed this because Megan Fox is a very attractive a very attractive woman, and they wanted to have teenage boys, obviously go to the film, but the film was not two hot girls making out. It was basically
Hmm.
about the friendship between Jennifer and
Yeah.
Needy, not about two hot girls making out.
Yeah. And people, I've heard that I didn't watch that movie until I met Brendan. But he tells me that people were actually upset after watching the movie because they didn't go further. And I'm like, come on. Like, come on, man.
I,
I
I
mean, it
think
wasn't enough.
I mean it's like this. He was making out for a good 10 minutes.
I know.
Uh,
Ridiculous.
yeah, but the whole purpose of the film was not about two hot girls making out. It was simply just showing the friendship between Needy and Jennifer, and the fact
Yeah.
that they were not actually, they have nothing alike. There was nothing alike between them. And I think that was the film focused on. And Diablo Cobra, that's what she said, was that unfortunately, the people behind the scenes wanted to market it toward teenage boys. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's the reason why the film was panned by critics. But when you look at it, it's a pretty decent film. I think it's one of Megan Fox's best films. Other than I think that other film that she did where she chained up to her dead husband. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Ooh.
That was
Yeah. Oh,
I
Till
can't remember.
Death or something?
I think it's Still Death. Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one too, actually.
Mm. Are women directors finally getting the respect that they deserve?
Yeah, I hear people talking about them all the time now. Like especially you said something about Women's Month, but I see them highlighted all throughout the year now. So
Mhm.
I hope it only goes up from there too.
Yeah, because women directors, obviously, I can't pronounce her name, the woman who directed The Substance and Revenge. She's
Coralie Fargay or something
Fargay,
like
yeah,
that.
Carly Fargay,
Hmm.
yeah, she's getting a lot of respect, and Danita Acosta, she's getting some respect for what she did with Candyman, and she's got
Hmm.
her next film coming out next year, 28 years later, the Bone Temple,
Oh, is
the
she
Bone
doing that one?
Yeah, she's doing. Yeah, she
Cool.
directed that one. Yes, yeah. So women directors are finally getting some of the respect that they deserves. A prime example is unfortunately Mary Lambert, because as good of a job that she did with Pet Cemetery, her name is not even mentioned on the posters. All you see is Stephen King. Stephen King. It's like, give Mary some credit. She did a pretty good job in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope the more that women are getting the credit, the more
Mm,
that women are going to come out and want to get creative and make movies because other women are doing it, right? They can
Mhm.
be like role models and whatnot. And yeah, absolutely, they need the credit. If they made the movie, like that's ridiculous to not put their name on the movie.
Yeah, especially if the movie is good. If you have a good, if a woman director makes a good, decent horror film and the film actually makes money, then that should open the door for them. But that's what they deserve. That's why Carolyn got the credit that she did with The Substance, because that was a great horror film. The film was very I don't know if she got nominated for an Oscar or not, but it was great that she's finally getting the respect that she deserves.
Absolutely, I love that
Mm.
movie.
What are your thoughts on the rape revenge films or SA films? Who do you think make that better? Will you think a male director could or a female director could?
A female. Because females are the ones going through that experience.
Mm,
You said it yourself, Corley Fergay. I think
mm,
I'm going to keep mispronouncing the name. But revenge, that's a rape revenge film, right? So
mhm.
I thought that one was done really tastefully. I, I'm not sure. I think it was the movie Irreversible, the
Yeah,
French film.
irreversible. Yeah, it's a French film.
That
Yes.
is a very, very long, drawn out scene. But I did hear that Monica Bellucci, the actress that was a part of it, is the one who made it go as long as it did. And she was in complete control and comfortable. So that at least made me feel comfortable about it. But
Mhm.
still, the woman is the one having the experience. And I just think a woman can do it better, personally.
Yeah. I think the reason why he did that, the fact that she actually said, let's make it longer, but I think the reason why he wanted that scene long and long, brutal, and terrible is to show the audience the reason why her friend was so pissed off and wanted to beat the shit out of those two men. Because
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, it's because like since it was told in reverse, so we had to wait all the way up until the end of the film, which at the beginning of the film, the reason why he was so dead set to beat the crap out of those two guys. I mean, I trust me,
Yeah.
when that scene happens, it's very disturbing. It's very hard to look at, and I felt sorry for her character that she had to go through that. But that's the reason why he did that, and I'm glad that actually Monica said, she was very comfortable, and she's the one that pushed the scene to go longer.
Yeah, it makes it super effective and like you said, makes it super uncomfortable to watch, and it is a major plot point of the movie too.
Mm, yes. Yes, because when you take a look at films like "I Spit on Your Grave," and because I think it was Gory said mentioned to me was that she couldn't understand that a woman who was just raped by this guy, and then she takes him over to the apartment and gets naked in front of him. She said, because the man did that, she said, "There's no way in the world that a woman would do that." Confront the man that sexually that SA'd her, and then bring her back to the apartment and actually get naked with him again. They said a woman would
Yeah.
never do that. So it said that scene didn't make any sense to her. So it
Yeah,
said, not,
that was a male director then, I'm
yeah,
assuming?
it was a male director.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was a male director. She said there's no way a male director do that. A female director would not have played that scene that way. Now in the remake, I think there was another male director, but I think in the remake of "I Spit on Your Grave," her revenge is even brutal. Her revenge um, is more, I say, more brutal than the original one. I mean, what she does
Okay.
to I don't know if you ever saw it before, but Sarah Butler, I give her credit. In the scene, she's practically nude for at least a good 15 to 20 minutes in the woods. I'm pretty sure it was not warm, and I'm pretty sure it was cold. And then she had to get in the lake to get away from the guys that were essaying her. I'm pretty sure that lake was not warm, and I give her credit for as long as she was in that. But I think from what I heard, she was very comfortable. All the actors and everyone else said that she made sure that she was very comfortable, and that although she looked very uncomfortable, but she said there was no problem on set making that scene.
Yeah. I actually read that too because I'm a fan of the first and second. Not I've never seen the original. I've only seen the remakes.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, I did read up on that too because sometimes I just need to know for my peace of mind after watching.
Yeah, because it's like that scene is crazy. I'm like, God damn, what is wrong with these guys?
I
Yeah,
know.
but her revenge, oh man, it's like when she gets her revenge, she pulls no punches.
No, she doesn't. I think she like peels the guy's eyes back at one point and lets
I
birds
know
go
she
at
feels
them or
it.
something.
I'm like, ooh, that looks painful. Ooh, man, that looks very painful. Ooh, man. And then what she does with the sheriff,
Yeah.
he deserved it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now what led you and your husband to create a YouTube channel, Our Life in Horror?
So well, when we met, we discovered we were both horror fans, and
Mm,
then we started an Instagram page probably a year and a half into our relationship, and that's when we discovered the horror community.
mm,
I remember we used to do like these we would print out monthly calendars and write down a whole month of movies and like themes. So we would have like a vampire month, and we would take pictures of them and post them onto Instagram and watch all the movies and review them and stuff. And we would do little his and her reviews on Instagram. And then he wanted to do a podcast really bad, but I was super nervous because I don't know, putting my voice out there is just like a little scary. So I was like, okay, we'll buy a mic. And then the mic sat in the cupboard for about a year. And then we finally did it. And then, oh, sorry, my alarm. Yeah, he just really wanted to talk about movies. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we started our podcast, did that for a year and a half. And then we met Kaylee and Robbie from That Horror Couple, and
mhm.
they had a YouTube channel, and we had them on the podcast, and they asked us if we were thinking of switching to YouTube, or we had told them we were thinking of switching to YouTube, and they convinced us to. Literally the next day, I uploaded content onto YouTube. It was terrible, but we did it. And yeah, here we are. It's just a really fun way for us to connect with other horror fans because they're not all around town. Like we're talking to people across the world, right? And it's really
Mhm,
cool. And we can just talk about movies we love. And it's a way for him and I to bond as well as a couple because it's something we're both interested in. So
mhm.
that's really all there is to it. It's just for fun.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I've met horror fans here in Philly, New Jersey, fans in Australia, New England, uh, Irish. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a couple of my two of my favorite horror fans. I have a horror girl. Her name is Lisa. Where Lisa loves, and of course Marty from the Trash Picture Show. Obviously people in the United States, so it's like this. It amazes me growing up, and obviously my mother and my father were not into horror films. Kelly is not in the horror films as well. So
No.
for me, growing up and not getting to have other people such as myself that loves horror, when I finally got my YouTube channel and then met all the other horror people in the horror community, and it's like, wow, all these people love horror as much as I do. So that's one great thing is that, well, I get to actually talk and interact with people and met some people that love horror just as much as I do.
It's a great community.
Oh, yes. We have a little drama moments every now and again, but I think when it comes to the horror community on YouTube or anywhere on social media, I think we are the only people where we can agree or disagree and then not get into any arguments when it comes
Yeah.
to horror film.
For the most part, yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's a little drama on Twitter, but I stay out of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like this. I'm 62 years old and I have no time for drama. If I want to play games, I got Resident Evil, I got The Last of Us, I got
Yeah.
all the Batman games. I'll play them on my computer, and I don't have to worry about doing anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is your favorite final girl and why?
My favorite final girl is Mia from Evil Dead 2013.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I am almost 16 months sober from alcohol, and
Mm,
she is an addict in that movie, and I I just really related to her. But the way I see that movie is she's going to this cabin to detox and fight her demons, and all of these deadites that come are basically her demons that she's fighting. And then by the end of it, she sees who's standing there next with her, because a lot of the times in addiction, there won't be many people with you at the end, depending on
mm.
the circumstance. But I just really love her. I think she's super strong. And yeah, she's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, congrats on being staying sober. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. The last question I have for you, Sam, is if you could create a horror film, what type of a horror film would it be and what subgenre?
Mm, um, maybe body horror. I did start writing a script for a body horror movie actually about
Mm.
male birth control experiments, but I don't know if it's actually going to get completed ever in my lifetime, but I dabble in it every now and then. So probably body horror. I think body horror is super gross. And
Mhm.
yeah, I love the substance. I thought it was awesome. So
Have you seen any of David Cronenberg's work? I would say like The Brood.
I have seen a couple of his movies. Videodrome I enjoyed. I went and saw Crimes of the Future with Brendan, and
Mm.
I was bored to tears. But
Oh yes,
his
that one.
son, though, Brandon Cronenberg, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's yes.
I dig his movies. Infinity Pool is really cool.
That was interesting to say the least.
Yes, it was.
The only thing I didn't like, and much as I love Maya Goth, she was so annoying in that film. Oh God, she
Mm.
just drove. Oh boy, I think the whole purpose of was to be annoying, but oh man, she drove me to hate her character. And I don't like using the word hate, but she was so annoying.
No, I agree. I really liked Alexander Skarsgård though, and I really thought the concept was really scary. Like them
Oh,
being cloned and not knowing if their clone is the one dying or if it's them. Like it's just a mind fuck.
oh yeah, that was yeah. I would definitely use that word. Yeah, definitely a mind fuck because like when I saw that, I'm like, what the hell? What the
Hmm.
hell?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, very interesting film, and I thought he did a pretty good job. So he's definitely got some of his father's touches when it comes to body horror. But if you ever want to see one of David Cronenberg's better film, watch The Brood.
The Brood? Okay. I know Brendan's got him, so
Yeah.
he would love me to sit down and watch a David Cronenberg film.
Uh, all right, Sam. So I want to thank you for participating in Women in Horror. It was nice for you to have you on. And of course, if you are interested in seeing our life in horror, I have the links to their YouTube and other channels in the description box below. And if you actually have an outro, Sam, go ahead and say it.
An outro.
Mm.
Usually we just thanks for watching and stay spooky.
All right. Once again, like I said, I want to thank Sam for coming on Life in Horror. Once again, you'll be able to see this on my YouTube channel and once again on Spotify or everywhere you get your podcasts. And once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Money G. And always remember, horror rules. And I see you in the next. And I hope you guys stay safe out there.